really proud of her.
College degree is a big deal.
We're good? All right, thank you. We'd like to welcome everyone out to our 6 p.m. Planning Commission meeting for Tuesday, May 27th, 2025. As far as those present, we have all of our commissioners here with the exception of Commissioner Nye, who is excused. We'd now open for public comment, but not seeing any citizens present. We will pass with that. And next move to item C on our agenda, presentation and reports, community development update. Mr. Cooper, please.
Yes, thank you. I believe I saw, did I see one of you at the park ribbon cutting? Did you all get that announcement?
I was there.
Yeah.
But I was
get an
with
announcement.
children.
So we installed the new park. It's very colorful and amazing. We had an impromptu kind of last minute ribbon cutting. We didn't know if it was going to happen or it wasn't going to happen, but it happened. And it was fantastic. I've never seen so many kids at a park, ironically. What did you think?
It's amazing. My kids have been loving it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you're a real user of the park.
Yes. Yes. My only issue is that there was a ton of garbage there.
Oh, afterwards?
The last time we went was Sunday. Yeah. It was Sunday evening, and there was a lot of litter out there. A lot. So I'm not sure what we can do about that, but
Parks cleans in the morning and at night, but they don't do like a mid-shift cleaning.
Yeah.
So when it gets super busy, that's probably
well,
when
it
you'll
was
see
still there
litter.
the next morning. But maybe that's because it was a holiday. But also,
Yeah.
I
And
hate that our
Sunday.
park staff has to pick up garbage. I'm not sure what we could do to maybe encourage citizens to be a little more responsible in throwing away their water bottles and food wrappers and
Are there-
things like that.
Are there enough bins to put them in?
I feel like there are, but maybe having a couple right next to the playground. I feel like there are though.
Okay.
Don't you think there's some right there by the
Yeah.
Bowery?
Yeah.
I don't know if signs as a reminder, or I don't know what you do about that. It was a little bit disheartening to see this big, beautiful new playgrounds and garbage strewn all over.
Your mother doesn't work here. Clean up after yourself.
Yeah.
We'll pass on that information. The mayor's always looking for stuff to put in his newsletter. And so maybe a reminder to the community to clean up after themselves.
Yeah,
would be-
and I know that other residents from other cities
Yeah.
come to use our park too, and so I'm not sure how much is our residents versus visitors, and
It's all visitors.
yeah, for sure.
Sure. Never do that.
Yeah, I don't know. It was just a little sad.
Well, if you
To
consider, I mean, even if you go to a business, the cart corral is right next to the car, but they'll just shove it off into the next open
Yeah.
stall. People, lack of personal responsibility. It's unfortunate, but we see a lot of it.
Yeah, and so I don't know if there's anything that I've been racking my brain and haven't come up with anything in the last few days, but I don't know if there's anything we can do as a city to encourage.
We'll
Better
pass it along
behavior.
and see if they felt like it was an anomaly or that was an overwhelming amount of trash for a given period of time. Maybe they saw something like a spike also that is causing them to maybe change something. So we'll talk about it. Staff meeting's tomorrow, so I'll bring it up if Michelle reminds me. Okay.
It's all on you.
No
Brandon.
chance then.
Write it down, Brandon.
I don't have anything.
There goes your memory.
I can't remember anything. I lost my key this morning to my gate to my backyard. Okay, so that was the grand opening. That was amazing. The development projects that you are aware of in the city are all going well. The model
What about the
homes.
flagpole?
That's Michelle's baby.
That got
I thought that might be installed at the same time they were doing the playgrounds.
Nope, we had to wait for ramp to approve it, and then we had to wait for council to approve the expenditure for the other half of the ramp, but it's all approved now.
Okay.
So there's one more grant I want to try to get that opens in, I think, September. But if not, we'll probably
When
put it
does
in
it
this fall.
open?
The
The
grant
grant?
opens in September, I think.
September? So we won't have it for 4th of July this year.
No way.
A flagpole at the park.
Yeah, it'll be a flagpole and an outdoor classroom.
Cool.
This is the brainchild of the chair and Michelle. Just him saying something and you picking it up, and away we go. Speaking of grants, we do have a couple of other grants. You had mentioned one on the way down. Wasatch Front Regional Council gave us $200,000 to plan Stringtown. I think I've mentioned that before. Michelle, who is our quasi unofficial grant administrator, has also applied for a grant for money to do a hillside trail master plan, which is kind of a continuation of some thinking that has happened in the past by city folks, where we would look at using the hillside over here as a trail network to connect Romer Park to the river trail. There's some outdoor recreation grant money available for that this year. So if we're successful, what did we ask for? 160,000. That'll be a boon to that endeavor, and I'm sure the Planning Commission would be part of that as we get a stakeholder group together and start to work on that. That'll coincide with our Stringtown planning, which will coincide with our comprehensive code update work, which isn't grant funded, but nonetheless will be happening at the same time. And then the Planning Commission, or excuse me, the City Council approved a non-exclusive use agreement with the local mountain bike club for use of our trail out here in exchange for some work that they've done to improve the trail that was damaged based on some tree cutting down. So there's been some local efforts applied to our trail out here in the back where the bike park is, and then further down a little bit.
You mentioned Romer Park.
Mm-hmm.
We gave that park to Washington Terrace, I believe. Is that true, or is it still ours?
It's theirs.
Okay,
Mm-hmm.
so if we're doing a trail up to Romer Park, are they going to participate in that as well?
We asked them for a letter of support for the grant,
Okay,
which they gave us.
but financially, we're not asking for any support for that.
Not yet. When it comes to the capital funds necessary to build it, that could be a different story. But we think with the money that we receive from the grant, neither the city of Riverdale nor Washington Terrace would need to put in any planning money. But then once we plan and design it, maybe there's some money they can pitch in. We haven't got there yet, but we'll certainly bring them in as a stakeholder in the planning process, and they'll have all the input they want in that whole process.
Okay.
That's it.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Next, we have our consent items, which would be consideration of meeting minutes from May 13th, 2025 for both our work session and regular meeting. Commissioners, were there any amendments that we need to make to those minutes? If not, then a motion would be in order, please.
I move that we approve the consent items.
I second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Okay, the motion passes. Our next item on the agenda is our action item, which is the consideration to set a public hearing for minor text amendments to Riverdale City Code Title 10, Chapter 8, Agricultural Zones A1 and A2. Mr. Cooper.
Yes, thank you. So if this seems familiar, as I said before, it is. You all set the public hearing already for today. We're not having the public hearing. It was not noticed properly. That's our fault. And so we felt it necessary to ask you again to set a different and new public hearing for this same item, which is looking at some text amendments related to the A1, A2 agricultural zoning code.
Okay, we received those changes in our packet, and there were some things that, at least we've had some time to review those. Was there any discussion that we wanted before we move to set a public hearing? Okay, then we would be looking for a motion, please.
I'd like to make a motion to set a public hearing for minor text amendments to Riverdale City Code, Title 10, Chapter 8, Agricultural Zones A1 and A2 for June 10th.
Okay, so we have a motion
Second.
and a second. Any discussion on the motion? Is this just,
Yeah.
I don't have to vote on that, okay. So all in favor of the motion?
Yes.
Yes.
Any opposed? Just making sure. Okay, the motion passes. Next on our agenda would be comments from the Planning Commission and city staff.
I do have something I want to say or ask. There's a lot of children I'm noticing around, not just Riverdale, but everywhere that I travel, on motorized scooters, mini bikes, those types of things. I know when I was young, that was not allowed. Is there any enforcement of regulations as far as those are concerned in our city?
I don't know of anything in Title 10, which is our zoning code, and I haven't come across anything in other parts of the code. Michelle, have you?
What? Because I know that like mini bikes, when I was a kid, if I would have been riding a mini bike on a street and a police officer had seen me, he would have pulled me over and I could have gotten a citation for riding a motorized vehicle like that on the road without a license.
So we have a vast trail network in our city. I would assume that there's something related to motorized vehicles on the trail.
I don't think they're allowed on the trail.
Right. And so I don't know if that's been updated over time as things like e-bikes and these electric motocross bikes and these electric scooters that from Lime and all these things. I don't think our code has kept up with those changes.
I think it might be something we might want to address because I've seen some near misses as far as accidents and things like that. We're going to have some dead kids out in the streets one of these days. From some of these things.
Handicapped people that I've almost got run over by on their electric wheelchairs and scooters. Sometimes it gets a little, you need a horn.
I go on the trail a lot down here and do walking, and they go flying by me.
Yeah.
If they were to hit me, I guarantee you they're going at least 20 miles an hour on those e-bikes, and it will be seriously damaging somebody if they get hit with one of those. And it's getting more and more going down there. You go around a curve, and you just barely miss each other because they're going so fast.
Yeah.
No speed limits, no signs, and I think his point's valid, Rick, that before something does happen, we really need to probably look at that. Well, we've got neighbor kids, and I love the neighbor we live in to death, but he's got a little go-kart, and that little go-kart will go 25, 30 miles an hour, and he's probably 8 years old.
And they're so low to the ground that if you're in a car or something like that, they're difficult to see.
Yeah. I'll bring it up tomorrow. In
Even
staff
other
meeting.
cities.
Yeah, the trail down the river
St.
trail.
George with the golf carts. I mean,
Right.
that's made it into the news where
I see them bikes all the time.
people have been hit and seriously injured.
Golf
Driving
carts?
golf carts.
These are souped up golf carts. So not only are our trails a consideration, but our sidewalks and what's allowed on our city roads with or without a helmet. They're regulated Class 1, Class 2, Class 3 for e-bikes, and those have different meanings and different speeds associated with them. And so I just don't think our code's up to date. I'll bring it up in staff meeting tomorrow.
It just might be something we need to consider.
Sure.
So,
It wouldn't come before the commission per se because it's not a land use code, but
Right,
it is
I
something that,
understand
you can suggest that the city council look at.
right.
One thing to consider too, just specifically thinking of the river trail, and I know this would be an extensive project, but having a different lane for walking versus biking. And I know a lot of people have complained, bikers have complained about walkers not getting over, and walkers complained about bikers going too fast and things like that. So if we were to kind of separate and have a walking section of the trail and a biking section of the trail, that could
It's
possibly
almost like what
alleviate.
you have with automobiles and
Yeah.
bike lanes.
Yeah.
Just an idea to think about.
And maybe it doesn't apply retroactively to existing trails just now or just yet, but maybe as we look to develop new trails, that's something we can
that
implement.
too.
Yeah.
Especially
So-
with the invention of e-bikes and things like that, where you get higher speeds.
And mountain bike trails in the mountains have this problem all the time where and you incorporate horses into that equation too. So now you have hikers and walkers, horses and bikes. And so it can get messy, but there is a lot of precedent out there on how to regulate something like that. And so I think we won't have to reinvent the wheel.
Who monitors that?
Largely through our police department and through complaints, really. I mean, think about your experience on a trail. If you were to be hit, that would be something that you would probably call in and get a record of. If you witnessed something that was just a violation and you chose to do something about that, you'd call in. So it's largely through complaints of citizens.
I know when the trail was very first opened, the police used to patrol it.
Still do.
But I haven't ever seen them out there.
I seen
recently.
Chief Warren, I passed him about 2 weeks ago.
Did you?
He was jogging in his shorts before work, and he was running down the trail. So I know he goes down there periodically. I don't know how often, but I was concerned about liability too. If somebody like a older person in a wheelchair hits one of those tree stumps sticking out of the asphalt and flips over, who's liable?
I'm not an attorney.
No, I'm just saying there's a lot of wheelchair users down there, and there's a lot of stumps that's probably could flip a wheelchair pretty easy.
Yeah. It's really no different than a raised sidewalk.
Right. Same
And there's
principle.
a lot of case law on that as it relates to liabilities to cities and what they have to do to not only prevent it, but to fix it and to notify the public of it. So I don't know the regulations, so I won't speak to it, but I do know that it would probably pose the same problem as a sidewalk. But Sean's guys are, great, and they may not see everything all the time, every time, but as soon as it comes to their attention, they're quick to fix it.
Yeah.
That's true.
Okay, any other comments? From our work session up in the conference room, were there any other points of discussion that you wanted to continue or discuss?
I'm good. I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Okay. We have
Second.
And a couple of seconds. All in favor?
Yes.
We stand adjourned. Thank you.
That works.
Yeah, that could be for this commission.
So what, Colleen, what department do you work in?
The other commissions
As come and turn integrity verification.